Hello YouTube, Komodo Gaming here, bringing you another episode of Scrap Mechanic. I've got a few ideas floating around in my head, so let's see how this goes. Okay, so some of the ideals I've had in my head were, I wanted to build like a buggy, like a moon buggy. I've been watching watched The Martian just the other day, so I've kind of had that ideal that it would be kind of cool to have a buggy with a bunch of almost like tracks, even though I know tracks aren't in the game, but I'm trying to think. Thinking something like using the big pipes for the tracks themselves. I won't actually have I don't even know what you call it, almost like a guard around them. I'll just have all the barrels up on top of each other. So, let's see. What else might I need here? I might be able to. I think that large tank would be too large to do that with. Maybe the medium. Let's go ahead and try the smaller one here. Those are actually a lot bigger than they appear in the menu, so I don't want to make it too large. Let's see. Looks like we're also going to need. I'm gonna go ahead and make it out of steel. I want to make it big and sturdy. It's almost like a challenge to make everything or metal. It's like a challenge to make everything out of metal because it makes your creation so heavy, so you have to really beef up the suspension and, you know, kind of make it work. So let's see. No wheels. I don't need wheels. So once again, I'm gonna start off and go ahead and get this going here. Not sure how wide I want to make it. It's gonna be fairly massive. I want to be able to somewhat walk around in it. I had an idea of like doing almost like a box. It's gonna look kind of boxy, but I want to have a door in the back so you can walk up into it and go up to the cockpit. So do a little bit of counting here. See how wide I want to make this. Okay. I've gotten to where I make stuff uneven now, at least an uneven number, because if I ever add trailers to the back of it, I can always get the hitch right in the middle, because I only use one bearing for it. I'm going to work on the suspension here, though. I'm going to cut, I think I'm going to cut in every couple, like so, and then I'm going to add the suspension down into it. Now, the body itself is not going to be able to turn. I had the idea of just having the big suspension coming down and supporting it, and I'm going to make suspension come out the front and the back, and that will be the way it actually turns. So this ought to be fairly quick to do. Let's see, keep notching these out, make sure I get them even here. Let's see. I'm going to use the big off-road suspension because it's probably what I'm going to need to support all this metal. I don't think I'm going to do the whole thing out of metal, but I at least want the base made out of metal. Also, the reason why I'm using the flat terrain, I'm also going to go for like real big speed, and the terrain that they do have in the game, there's just not many open areas to be able to like pick up a whole bunch of speed. Because I'm thinking I might experiment with a little bit of rockets in here. I'm not completely sure yet, though. Okay. Nope, that's wrong. Let's see. Keep putting those down. Probably going to have to edit some of this out because this is once again going to be tedious watching me go back and forth trying to match both sides. And I don't really want to bore you too bad. Let's see. I might do, I don't know if I'm going to double up the wheels. I'm not 100% sure. But let me go ahead and grab some of the pieces for the bottom part of this suspension. Wait a minute. Oh, now I'm debating if I want to actually do that. Maybe I'll just actually use the metal blocks on the bottom here, or attempt to use the metal blocks on the bottom. Let's see. Even those up. I think this should still all work together. Let's see. Keep just adding them here. And I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. Try to add all the blocks manually. Do that. Turn it and all the way to the end. Okay, there's our first set of suspension, and let's go ahead and add bearings. let's go ahead and go to the other side because I have to match everything up evenly. And it's ideal. I'm gonna need quite a few motors in the vehicle itself. Oh, that doesn't fit. Let me think here. I'm probably going to have to, let's see if there's something else that's more logical to put on there. I really like the small tank, but I don't know, do they have something that's just a little bit smaller? Let's see. Let's try this, see what this looks like. Oh, I'm not sure that's any bit better. Let me think of what I want to do. Maybe I can do every other. Yeah, that just doesn't look right. I'm gonna probably have to shift the bearings around and space them apart a little bit, I believe. I'm not sure here. Let's see. Let me just try spacing them here. I'm gonna have 2 blocks in between each bearing. Okay, that's 2 there, and then I'm gonna delete the 1 bearing. These are gonna be pretty big here. So yeah, that should work now. Okay. Alright, I've completed all the bearings, and I've put all the first layer wheels, and excuse me, I set it down and I realized that it just sinks all the way down, so I'm going to add another layer of wheels here, and it's actually going to kind of build it up a little bit like a tank, or a buggy, whatever you want to call it. It's not supposed to be a tank, but that's kind of the way the design's starting to feel on the bottom. So let me add these on this side and make sure they're straight across from each other here. 2. Does that at least look cool? I'm not sure it's actually going to work, but I don't know. Let's see. Now, I don't think that the top wheels are going to actually be turning the bottom wheels, because I don't believe I'm going to be able to get them close enough. So I think the top wheels are actually going to wind up being a little more cosmetic, and it's actually going to drive off the bottom wheels, the ones that I'm placing now. And oh, I don't know, that's still sinking. That suspension instantly compresses all the way, so I'm going to need to find a way. I might need to add a little bit more suspension here on the bottom. Maybe I can, I don't know. I'm thinking about putting the wheels on the other side, but I think suspension will actually get it done here. Let's just beef it up and see what happens. Let's add them on every empty spot, so you'll see just nothing but suspension when you look in. Okay. There. Add them all the way down here. I'm going to do it to the other side. And this how to make it set, I think, a little easier, because it's not going to be able to compress as much on the inside suspension. So this should be good. I'm going to go ahead and just block it down here and connect it to the outside. Let's see. Just go all the way across, and let's go ahead and attempt to get this on this side. Sometimes I feel like I'm pretty bad at actually using the block tools. I'll start doing something and I'll make it way more difficult than it really should be. Let's get that down. It still compresses really far, but I think it's going to ride better with both suspensions, so I don't know, we'll have to see here. Looks cool though. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the front suspension here, or maybe this is going to be the rear, I'm not really sure. I think I have the front actually going to be on the other side. It's a little bit different as far as the block layout. But I had the idea of I'm going to need the suspension to come out further than the tracks, because I think if it's too close, I have a feeling about how tall this thing's going to end up. It's going to be almost like a tipping hazard. So I think if I have the actual turning suspension and the turning everything up, the front and the back out wider, which this one here is not going to be quite as wide. I'm going to make the front, I believe, a little wider than this, and it should keep it from tipping as much. I still think it's going to be real top heavy, but I don't know, it's kind of going to be the challenge here. And I've also got to think of how many motors I'm going to wind up putting into it, because I'm trying to like, make this thing really fast. I have a feeling it's going to turn really good too. I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to do the double here in the front. I'm going to do the double wheel design. Make sure it can turn really, really good. So, let's see. There we go. Bearings on each side. This is going to be fun to hook up to motors and everything. It's going to be quite a few circles to deal with. Okay, there's one there, there, and there. Alright, that should be good there for the back suspension. Alright, I'm still working on the front suspension here. Like I said, I'm going to make this one a little wider. That way, everything's going to be driving off the front. I'm not quite sure where all the weight's going to be. I'm still debating on where I want to stick the motors. I might just stick them in the back and then move up and stick the cockpit. Of course, I'm going to have at least a driver's seat and a passenger seat up in the front. I'm going to try to distribute the weight as evenly as possible. I don't know, it might be kind of hard. It's all going to depend on how I'm going to make the actual cab itself. I believe I'm going to actually want to be using tile. Like I might do 1 or 2 layers of the metal on the bottom, then I'm going to do the rest in tile. I'm going to try to save a little bit of weight here. Plus, it might actually make it look a little better, because sometimes when you get everything just all metal, it looks really plain. And that was the one issue I actually had with my last build, the Mad Max build. After I looked at it a little bit, I was like, I had to add so much cosmetic things to it, because it actually looked kind of plain. Let's see. Add those, and there's that. Let's see what this looks like setting on the ground. Alright, that looks cool. Okay, placing motors here, and one thing I actually noticed, the way the suspension sits now, it actually is not compressing all the way. The front and the back are actually supporting it a little more now, so that's good. Let's see, I'm gonna put the cockpit up here. I'm gonna have to build it up. It's gonna have to set up a little bit. I wonder how tall this thing's going to wind up being. That's the only thing I kind of feared for how fast it's going to be. It's probably going to want to tip over. I'm kind of hoping that the suspension, how it pokes out and how it pivots, that it might be able to tip itself back over. I don't know. It's kind of yet to be seen here. Oh, not happy where that is. I'm just going to have to set a little closer together here. Let's go ahead and grab the passenger seat. There we go. No. Nope. One over. And there. Okay, that looks good there. Now, I guess we'll start building it up. Start building the walls up even further. Now, I need to add some sort of window. I'm not really sure what it's going to be, but maybe I can find a scrap part. I need something that I can see through, but I don't want to just make a hole for the window. They really need it'd be nice to get a glass block. They released another development blog, I think yesterday. I haven't gotten to see it yet. Maybe it's got some sort of new blocks, because I'd like to see some sort of glass block, something that you can see through. That'd be really nice. Okay, still building the walls up here. Made progress, and I found my window. I found this great piece, and you can see out of it just enough to be able to steer if I was doing first person. I'm going to go ahead and add some sides for just a little more visibility out the sides here. Okay. And one there. I think those are even. Now to continue to build up. This is going to be a little tedious getting in and out here. Might need to map this door that way it opens, because I'm going to be climbing over this thing, and this thing's going to be too tall to hop onto. Well, I'm not sure I have much to hop onto either. Just keep building it up. Keep on. That looks good. I'm going to go ahead and finish the front up here and enclose it. Got to make sure I make it high enough, because it's a little deceiving when you're setting or when you're standing in your creation. And then you go to use the seat and the top of your head's poking out. And I've had that happen several times, so I gotta make sure I make this tall enough, because I don't want it to look like my head's just morphing, like warping through the roof, so. let's see. Keep placing these here. Yeah, this is already getting hard to jump on and move around here, so it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. I'll just have to work through it. I'll have to stack some tires here in a minute and get to the roof. And it's... okay, I like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start connecting here. I finished the roof. I had to stack a whole bunch of tires, and it took forever to do because I'm just not smart sometimes when I'm doing things, and there's always easier ways to do it. But yeah, let's go ahead and start connecting. That's not good. I didn't put a bearing here in the front. I can't turn with the front. I knew I'd missed something. Alright, well, set it back up and delete it. At least cut the front off here. Yep. Oh! Oh, that's not good. Okay. That's really weird. Oh. Okay, those just fell to the floor and they came from the sky, so that's new. I don't really have many words for that. Alright, well, I'm going to rebuild the front here. Okay, back to connecting everything together. Now I've got to make sure everything turns the right way, everything works together. This is going to take just a little bit to figure all out. But let's see. Make sure all the wheels are turning the right way. If not, I'm going to be doing circles here. It's just not going to handle very well. I think I ended up using, was it 6 motors? Or no, maybe 8 motors. I don't know. I think you can do 5 bearings per motor. Maybe it's 5 or 6, and I just had to make sure I had enough. Weight-wise, I believe I've got it distributed pretty evenly. I've put some more blocks in the front, and that's where I'm gonna have the cockpit and everything is towards the front. So I believe that it's not gonna tip over very. I mean, I still think it's gonna be tippable, but I think I might have saved it a little bit. Okay. Keep connecting. I'm going to have all the bottom wheels drive because, I mean, it's just going to... That's the way a tank works, I believe. I mean, every wheel turns. There's none that are not powered. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but at least that's the way I want this to work here. And I'm probably going to even power the top wheels, even though they don't really have a purpose. They're more cosmetic. So, I don't know. I want them turning to just make it look like they're working all together. Okay. That looks good. There's a lot of lines going here. Let's go ahead and get these top wheels connected. And she's almost ready to try out. I've been thinking about the rockets, and I do believe I'm going to add a couple to the top on the back, and then I'm going to add a couple to the top on the front. Because I do think this thing's going to be pretty good as far as I'm going to be able to just go backwards and use them and go forward and use them. Just to get speed both ways. Speed both ways. Speed both ways. Okay, I'm going to build 2 rockets in the back, and I believe I'm going to do 2 rockets in the front. So I'm going to build a little support here. And I'm going to add them to each side. Then we should be about ready to do test drive here. So I'm going to put 1 here and 1 here. Okay. Alright, I believe she's complete. I've added a couple little things, some lights in the front, and let's go ahead and climb up here and give her a try. Got my duck here, close my door, and we're ready to go. Yep, not poking out of the top, so I'm happy there. You can see someone up the front. Maybe should add some windows to the side. Maybe I'll do that later. And whoa! Oh yeah, and the suspension's all working together. You can see the tracks bouncing up and down, and it actually turns really good. Like I'm barely having to put any input into it. It's turning here. It spins around and tips over too. But see, that's actually working like I want it to. All I've got to do is reverse it, and it sets on the back here and reverse it. It just flips itself back over. So it seems pretty good here. I want to give it a little bit of power here. Oh, wrong button. Rockets, there we go. See, this is why I wanted to do it on the flat. I just want to see what kind of speed I can get, and the other train just does not. It makes it where you can't just get outright speed and oh. I think I've flipped over. I don't think my fronts are touching here. This might be hard. Try turning here. Okay, that might be a design flaw. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm still driving. I'm still trying to flip. I want to prove that I can flip this. There we go. Yeah, that took a little bit. I might need to redo the front a little bit, make it to where those, when I do flip over forward, that the front's actually touched, where I can just spin it back over. There's the. Now I'm going backwards. This is kind of a little fun buggy to play with. I kind of like this. Papa Willie. Okay, well, I think that's about gonna wrap it up here. I'm pretty happy with this creation. I think I'm gonna go in and maybe alter a couple things later on. I might move the windows up to the sides a little closer to the cockpit where I can look left or right if I'm doing first person. And I think I need to move the front suspension out maybe one block. That way, if I flip over, for some reason when I tipped over on my front, it was really hard to tip back over. The back, if it flips over backwards, it's easy to just get it upright, but the front it's a little hard. But that's gonna be it, guys. Continue to play this. There's a couple other games I'm looking forward to, so we'll see you next time.